episode of the Last of Us Talk Show. We're here to talk about Season 2, Episode 2, Through the Valley.
Hi.
Lane's here with me once again. And, yeah. We just finished watching Episode 2.
Which was a pretty good episode, yeah.
Yes, it was a pretty good episode. You and I were expecting what was going to happen in this episode, but it didn't make it any less stressful. I wasn't any less stressed out about it anyways. What about you?
I don't know, but I guess what caught me off guard was the thing they added, like the scene, about the raid.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, this is an instant reaction. We're not going to be spoiling anything that happens in the future, but let's talk about what happened in this episode because there's a lot going on there. And, yeah, I mean, my goodness. Like you said, so I was going to do a deep dive on episode 1. I never had the time to be able to record that episode, but I was going to give a prediction on what happened at the end of this episode. I was going to give a prediction on when I thought it was going to happen, and I was going to say middle of episode 3, and the way this episode was playing out, because they added that, so we're talking about, of course, in the show here, in episode 1, we got the whole idea that the cordyceps is 1, coming through the pipes, 2, it's getting smarter, and then in this episode we get the idea of, there's a patrol group went out there and they found like this big area of frozen infected, and then from underneath it came out a bunch, like a big, like a group of 30 infected that came out, and they're using the other infected to like keep them incubated so they could stay alive in the cold. So they are getting smarter.
Yeah, so like I think I liked about that I don't know, I think they're getting more aware, or maybe they were aware in the beginning. I think that, they're evolving to becoming more smart.
Yeah, it does seem like they are actually evolving and getting more smart. And so yeah, we hear about this, and then this leads the whole town into getting prepared for possibly an attack on the town, like and that there would be a horde of infected attacking the town. That does not happen in the game. What I like about that getting added in is that it really gave a reason why there was a horde out there, because we get that in the game where Abby is out there on her own, runs into a group of infected, and Joel saves her.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of random that there's those infected out there in this, winter frozen time, and this gives an explanation of why they're out there, and it makes more sense that this sort of thing isn't a danger for the entire town, whereas in the video game you only see that happen outside to Abby and Joel.
Yeah.
So this actually makes it more like, okay, there's like, this was a widespread affected it affected the entire area. It wasn't just like, they just happened to randomly come across, whereas I could see somebody who plays a video game that they would say, that's like so random that it just so happened that there was a small group of infected that ran into Abby, that made her run into Joel, and then what happens. Where this, it makes it go like, no, it's the entire area. So there's, it's not just by chance that they ran into infected. It's surrounding all of them. So I like that addition a lot. But yeah, I was going to predict that this didn't happen till later, and as we were watching the episode, I thought, oh, my prediction's going to be right, because they're adding in all this stuff. So yeah, they're going to hold off until, sometime in episode 3 is when they're going to kill Joel. That's what I thought. But so, I was still like in suspense the entire episode, because as things started going, I was like, well, things are even with the addition of these things are happening fast enough. They could still be getting to it this episode.
Yeah. I think what I liked about the episode and the additions of it was the infected. I like about the raid, it shows how, the infected are like very dangerous, and I don't know, it's not like, it's not happening in one place, you said. It's like happening everywhere. I guess it shows that more this season, I guess.
Yeah. I think they're doing a good job of that, to where in the video game I could see the criticism at times of people feeling like, oh, well, it's really happening to a specific a group of people. Whereas this, it really makes you feel the danger of, oh, it's everybody. It's not just the main characters that we care about the most. We see it also affecting all what we would consider in the video game the side characters, but we see how much it is affecting them in the TV show.
Yeah, that's what I liked.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this was an epic episode because it was an epic battle. I mean, you get this. I mean, anybody who was complaining in season 1 about, oh, we don't see enough zombies, we don't see enough of the infected, they've already thrown that out. You can't complain about that this season. There was already multiple infected in episode 1. We get a huge horde of them here in episode 2. I don't want to hear anybody complain, we don't see enough infected in the show about a show that's about zombies, Like, we're getting plenty of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was just great to see the action and the suspense that created. And again, the addition to that the town was being attacked, that did make me also wonder, okay, well, there was characters that we didn't see die in the game. Are we going to see them die in the TV show now because we're seeing the attack on town? So that also gave me, we knew the Joel thing was coming, but it still gave me an extra layer of suspense as well, of like, okay, well, now what does that mean for the other characters? They could also die in this battle.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really good idea. Yeah, so we got the battle. I mean the big thing we got to talk about, we almost gone 10 minutes now and we haven't talked about it, just because I've been avoiding it. Everybody knows it was coming. The people who didn't know it was coming, oh my gosh, I can only imagine what they're going through right now. But yeah, the murder of Joel.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I was expecting the murder of Joel to happen like in another episode. I was like feeling like they were gonna hold it off, like they were gonna leave a cliffhanger of Joel getting murdered. No.
Right. Yeah. See, I thought that maybe what would like, if I would have ever got around to getting a chance to record my like deep dive episode, I was thinking like, oh, end of episode 2, we would have gotten to the point where Joel saves Abby.
Yeah.
And then we, as the viewers, would have that suspense of, oh, we know Abby wants to kill Joel, so what's going to happen in the next episode?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe they would do it that way, but I think it was good to do it this way because here's the thing. I think if they would have left it off that way, there's like, The Last of Us is one of the biggest video games of all time.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there who didn't play the video game, who've already been spoiled, that didn't want to be spoiled. And, anybody who's held off this long without getting spoiled, like, that's very lucky for them.
Yeah.
And so they probably thought, yeah, we can't do that, because if we leave it as a cliffhanger there, everybody's going to be talking about, everybody who's played the video game that knows what is about to happen, they're going to be talking about it even more because they know what's going to happen. So if we don't do it, in the, like 3/4 of the way through the episode, then everybody who hasn't been spoiled, that doesn't want to get spoiled, is going to end up getting spoiled. So I think it was probably the smarter choice for them to go about it that way.
Yeah. I guess I thought it would have been a better idea if they made a cliffhanger, but when you said it, like, shared your idea how they might have thought of that way, I think, that was a smarter choice.
Yeah.
Because, I thought, if they made a cliffhanger, I thought, the people who didn't, like, play the video game or held off from the spoilers, then, they would, have more suspense. But
yeah. Well, if it was everybody's first time, if this was like never a video game, if it wasn't a book or a comic book, or it never existed before, this was the first time, then I think that would have
worked.
It would have worked. I think your idea is. I think it's a great idea. It would be a great, like, piece of writing. It would be a way to create that suspense of getting the viewer to wanting to come back the next week. But I think, like I said, like, it's only because of the fact that there was like over 10 million people who played the video game that are going to know what's going to happen, that they would potentially spoil it for the other people who don't want to be spoiled, that it makes sense why they wouldn't do it for the TV show now, just because people already know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, even though I knew it was coming, I was still on the edge of my seat, in suspense the entire episode. What about you?
I mean, I was kind of expecting it to happen, but it's kind of like suspenseful, and I guess it shows, kind of like parallels of what's gonna happen to Abby and Ellie,
Yes, because I think they even made a stronger statement in there where we know right now in storyline that Ellie is 19. And Abby here makes a point to Joel before she kills him that, hey, when you killed my dad, I was 19, and that screwed my life up.
Yeah.
And now Ellie is 19, where Abby is killing Abby's father figure, and that's going to screw her life up. And we are going to see, I think that's what's going to take place. We saw Abby go on this, she went into this feeling of hatred, right? And this seeking revenge for this whole 5 years. So now we can only expect that Ellie is going to feel the same thing, right? She's going to feel that same hatred. She's going to want that same revenge. She even says here in the episode, I'm going to find you. I'm going to kill all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're exactly right. It's going to be a parallel between Abby and Ellie. And, yeah, and for me, even though I know it was coming, it didn't make it any less hard to see. Like, I still, like, it was, like, still shocking to see, and still very hard to take in for me.
I mean, same thing. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was gonna come, but it wasn't that suspenseful. It was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, okay, so you didn't feel the suspense as much as me.
Yeah.
Okay, I was still feeling the suspense. And there's still a lot see as well. Because going back to the beginning of the episode, we hear Ellie talk about how, you know, even though whatever her and Joel are going through, they are still. She doesn't say it outright, but you know, she's like, what she's saying to Jesse there is like, even though we're going through a rough patch right now, like, she's basically saying like, but he's still my dad and I'm still his daughter and we still love each other, even though like we're going through a rough patch right now.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't say those exact words, but you could tell that's what she's trying to say and that's what she's feeling.
Yeah.
So again, that's what also made it hard for me is to watch as well. It's so sad, like, you know, like, oh, she's like there watching Joel be killed right in front of her, and so, oh god, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then we get a little teaser from Ellie saying, you know, when her and Jesse are talking, like he says, oh, so you guys patched things up, and so we get this idea thrown out there that after what happened at the dance, that Ellie must have went and talked to Joel. We don't see it in episode 1, but we get a reference to it here. So I bet we're going to get a flashback at some point of them getting to the point where Ellie the next morning is saying like, you know what, even though we're going through what we're going through, like, you know, we still love each other, basically, like she's saying. So I think they're probably saving that for a flashback.
Oh.
I assume, I don't assume they're going to mention that something like that happened and not show it.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know. I feel, I don't know if they, I don't know. I feel like they didn't like talk to each other about that night, but I could have been wrong.
Okay. Yeah. We'll find out. Like I said, they mentioned it here. Like, there's no guarantee that they're gonna show them having the conversation. Maybe they will just leave it at like, oh, well, we told you that they had a conversation. But I feel like season 1 showed enough flashbacks that I won't be surprised if we get some sort of flashback of them at some like emotional point for us as viewers, that they show us some scene of them having a conversation, and, you know, trying to patch things up.
So like maybe near around like end of the season, maybe, or
that could be, yeah. You know, I won't be surprised if that, you know, it could happen at any time, really. I don't know, but you know, I want to see that conversation, so I hope they do it. And I'm guessing they will. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, all the acting was done really well in here. I know that in the video game world, Abby is a, you know, very controversial character and hated by many because of what she does to Joel.
Yeah.
But it takes a good actor to portray that, and I thought Caitlin Devers did a great job here in portraying that character.
Yeah, I think she did a good job acting with the character too.
Yeah, I mean, because if you don't nail that, then it's not going to feel right.
Yeah.
So I thought they did a good job with that. I mean, obviously, I thought, oh gosh, I'm having a brain fart now, but Ellie's character, I thought they did a good job of acting as well, especially in that moment of, like, you know, begging for Joel's life. I thought that was, you know, just really well done.
Yeah. I guess I like the moment when the weapon pierced, like, through Joel, and then it muffled around her. The noise muffled around her, and I guess it shows how impactful the death is.
Yeah, like, she's so, like, the rest of the world ceases to exist because, you know, her father figure just was murdered in front of her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good piece of editing and production as well. And yeah, that was something that they did different as well. That I noticed. I was like, oh well, and that also made it kind of nice because Ellie is then able to crawl over to Joel and like rest her head on his.
Yeah.
Whereas if they did it the way they did in the video game, that wouldn't be possible. You know, I don't know if you remember how they did it in the video game.
I don't think so. Was she dragged away?
No, in the video game, it's still done with a golf club, but the golf club is still intact. So instead of stabbing Joel, she bashes Joel's head in with the golf club, and like his head is like cracked open. So I think this was at least a nice way of us being able as viewers to get some sort of I don't know, moment of Ellie and Joel together at least, know. It like having that kind of close moment, whereas the video game it's just so gruesome you can't do that. At least here she kills him, but it's not so gruesome that you can't have still have a a touching scene afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. Huge moment. I can only imagine what people online are saying. I have a couple of coworkers at work that I can only imagine what they're gonna, because the couple coworkers that talked to me about season 1, and they were talking to me about episode 1 of this season so far. I know they didn't play the video game.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what they what they have to say to me tomorrow when I get to work. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you have friends that play the game or watch the show that you think you're gonna have conversations about this with, or do you not know anybody else watching the show?
I have like a friend who played the game, but I don't think any of my other friends have played the game yet or heard of it.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be quite the talk. And again, it's such a big controversial thing, that happens in the video game that still has people talking all these years later about the video game. So I imagine that this will be something that happened in the TV show here that, again, probably decades down the line, people are still going to be talking about this moment. All right. I think we shared our thoughts, though. I think a great episode, great directing, great acting. I thought the special effects were great as well. I should mention that before we get out of here as well, that a lot of times people have complained in the past, like big battle episodes like this, especially on TV shows, like they're done with these special effects. And they're always done, like the episode will always happen at night, so it's dark, so you can't see like all the bad special effects and visual effects and stuff like that. But they did this one, as far as you could tell, it's daytime and it's done in the white snow. And I love the use of practical effects with visual effects. It makes everything look so good. Everything's so clear. Nobody's going to be like, I know you haven't watched Game of Thrones yet, right?
No, I haven't watched.
Yeah, there's a couple famous battle scenes in that show where people complain so much after the show, after the episode, because like it's supposed to be a big important battle, but they make it at night, so you can't hardly see anything, and the episode is recorded like so dark. It's not lit very well, so it's so dark that you can't see that much very well. But with this, man, you could see everything really well, so I thought that was great too.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the visual effects and special effects and intermixed with the practical effects in there?
I guess it made the world more menacing like that for the town. I think that's all I can say.
Yeah. I thought even the big bloater.
Yeah.
In this one, they did a good job of making that look just monstrous. I was, like I said, I didn't know how things were going to change because they added this whole battle scene in. I was in suspense. I was really scared for Tommy there.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, great episode. Thanks for joining me, Blaine.
You're welcome.
And thank you everybody for joining us on the Last of Us Talk Show here. What should they do, Blaine?
I think they should like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Yep, they certainly should. And you should also leave some comments. Let us know how you're feeling after that episode. We're here to chat with you. I know there's going to be a lot of big feelings about this one, so let's all be there to support each other, all right? And until next time, endure and survive.
Bye.